Okay, I started recording. Hey everybody, I feel like I haven't connected with you like forever. Hang on, let me mute everybody. Oh, that's better. I can hear myself speak. Okay. This is the Fit Warriors call. It happens on the fourth Monday. It is still happening. People have still, I don't think people are questioning. I think it's more in my head what I'm doing, but I'm still here, still doing lots of things over here. But today I wanted to talk about, it's just been on my mind about nutrition. And because there's so many different things out there now, that you're seeing a ton, or maybe I'm just seeing it and I'm hearing it from clients that I'm doing keto, or I'm doing intermittent fasting, or I'm eating clean, or I'm doing a juice cleanse, or I'm eating paleo, or I'm doing all of these things. And I feel like I've done a lot of research on this myself just because or Whole30, I've done Whole30 and all of these things. So I felt like this might be a good topic to talk about. Just to help people, if you're listening to this later or you aren't familiar with all of these different things, hopefully I can help clear some of that up, because I think it is helpful to know as a coach to be able to talk to your clients about. Whether or not you've done it before doesn't necessarily matter. And what it basically comes down to is most of these, I'm going to call them diets. Some of them I don't necessarily consider a diet. I considered a diet if you cannot sustain it for a lifestyle. So like clean eating can be sustained for a lifestyle. Intermittent fasting can be sustained for a lifestyle. So there's some of these that I'm going to talk about that aren't necessarily what I consider a diet. So just keep that in mind, but I'm going to use the word diet because it can be used interchangeably. But I think all of these diets, the majority of them, can be used with our portion fix eating system. Because in my mind, the portion fix eating system is how to eat. It kind of tells you what to eat. I mean, it does in a way, but it's really how to eat. How many of each food group you need to eat all day. And then anybody, as you've probably seen, somebody can say that anything goes in a yellow container. They'll put a Pop-Tart in a yellow container and say that it fits. Like people have found their way around that. But any of these things, so like when I did Whole30, I did Whole30 with the portion fix eating plan, because I believe that that's how people should eat, is balancing, basically it's balancing their macros. And that's one that I forgot to put on my thing, but we'll talk about, I'll add it in. So I made a quick little slideshow that just basically breaks down a bunch of these different diets that I'll kind of talk through. And if I have a personal experience with them, which many of them I do, I can talk about it. And then if you have any personal experience with any of them, or if you've heard, hi Nora, love you, or if you have any clients who have personal experience with them, we can kind of talk through it and open up for, conversation, discussion about it as well. But if you do have something, maybe just throw it in the chat and then I can unmute you and we can talk a little bit more. But I just thought that I know that it's just so important to be knowledgeable in this area, especially right now. Everyone is looking for the next quick fix, and none of these, well, some of these, in my mind are quick fixes, but I don't think what we have to offer is a quick fix. And I think just being able to talk to people about them would be helpful. So there's so many things out there. And the one I forgot to put on here was what is it? IIFYM, if it fits in your macros, which essentially, again, is how to eat. And in my mind, it is the portion fix system is macros in a sense. You're not counting the grams of the carbs and the grams of fat and the grams of protein, but you are kind of counting how many of each. And essentially that's where they came up with how many containers of each that you should be eating is essentially macros. Macros stands for macronutrients. So I'll throw that one out there first just because I forgot it on here. But if it fits your macros, you'll see it as IIFYM. It was a lot more popular a few years ago. I remember seeing it a lot more, and it's pretty popular with more like bodybuilding, because they're very specific, counting their macros, how much protein they have a day, how much carbs they have a day, how much fat they have a day. So those are your macronutrients. Those three things, protein, carbs, and fat, are macronutrients. So those essentially are the things that when somebody talks about that they're doing IIFYM, that they are counting the grams of each of those. They're not necessarily counting calories throughout their day, and they're focusing more on just getting those macronutrients in, and not they're probably getting micronutrients in as well, but like their veggies are more like are counted as carbs. So they're counting those carb grams. So that's if it fits in your macros. But then you have all these others, and some really popular ones that I keep seeing all over the place right now is keto, LHCF or LCHF essentially is the same as keto, and Atkins in my mind is the same as keto. They're all high fat, low carb, and we'll get to that. And then intuitive eating is one. Juicing I don't see as much. Intermittent fasting is a huge one that I'm seeing right now, and actually my sister and I just started doing it today. So I needed to change things up a little bit, but we'll talk about that. That's actually, I think, one of the last ones. Clean eating, which is why most of us got into this coaching business in the first place, was that for me, myself, I joined a free clean eating group to learn more about clean eating. Whole30, Weight Watchers. Weight Watchers is actually where I lost my weight initially. And then the raw food diet. You don't hear about that as much, but I do have a friend that wrote a book, and she's like a huge raw foodie. So clean eating essentially is eating whole foods. It's eating real food. And this is what I will preach till the sun comes home. And clean eating can be incorporated in some of these other diets as well, which I'll get to. But basically, you're eating foods that are unprocessed or very minimally processed. They're not refined. They're not handled. They're as close to their natural state as possible. I did include a link there. I'll share this in the team page so that if you guys want to pass it on or use it for your own good or whatever. It's very basic. I just went with, basic definition and kind of would talk through it. But we all know that clean eating just means eating clean, eating foods that are as natural as can be, that come from the earth. That's kind of how I explain it to people, is that I try to eat as the least amount of processed food as possible. I used to have a huge pantry of junk, of like food that came in a package or a box or a freezer full of frozen dinners. And my freezer has nothing but meat and alcohol in it. I'm not kidding. Oh, and frozen bananas. That is all that's in our freezer now, because we just don't have anything else. Sometimes we have some frozen veggies, but I even like to have raw natural veggies as much as possible as well. And then our cabinet, my mom has a cabinet full of crackers and chips and all kinds of things. I don't keep that in my house. I also don't have children, so obviously my life looks a little different than some of yours. I'm sure your pantries probably have a little bit more chips and that kind of stuff in it if you have kids around the house. But hopefully you're making better choices there. And there are some better choices. So, when you are buying something that is processed or in any way, we're wanting to look at the ingredients on the label, not the nutrition facts itself, but the actual ingredients, and keep them 5 ingredients or less as much as possible, and without words that we can't read, basically. And then we have paleo, which really, paleo in my mind is not much different than eating clean. It's essentially the same thing. If you're truly eating clean and you're not just replacing processed foods with less processed food, and are truly eating whole, real foods that come from the earth, that is paleo. So paleo basically goes back. You'll hear people like, I was reading on actually this site, this Nom Nom Paleo, there's like this comic on there. Is that what the cavemen did? You can't do that. Is that what the cavemen did? And that was the big thing when paleo came out a few years ago, was that everyone was like, it was the caveman diet. What did the cavemen used to eat? Well, they eat meat, potatoes, veggies, and fruit. And that is honestly, essentially what I eat. It is less grains too. So that would be one big difference than clean eating, although you still can have grains. But it is probably less grains. So you can see kind of here, it's veggies, fruit, nuts, meats, and coconut and olive oil. And then these are not a part of paleo. I don't say like, oh, I can't have sweet fruits like banana. No, I still eat banana. Like I say I eat kind of paleo, Whole30, clean eating. Essentially I eat meat, potatoes, fruits, veggies, nuts. What else? That's about it. French fries, but that's potatoes. Alcohol, wine. So yeah, and coconut oil and olive oil. And then we have keto, which this is one that I don't know a ton about, but I know a lot of people are doing it. And it's not one that I have any desire to even try, because I don't think that it's something that is sustainable for a lifestyle, in my opinion. Maybe somebody can personally eat this way forever and not have any carbs, but I think that your body needs carbs. It is a source of energy for your body. It is just my opinion. If somebody came to me and said, I eat keto, okay, great. Is that what makes you feel good? Okay. If that's what makes you feel good, then that's all that matters. But can you sustain it? Can you keep it up as a lifestyle? Like just kind of helping people understand. And I always want to ask, well, why are you doing it? Well, if you're only doing it to burn fat and get into this, and that's why most people are doing it, is to get into this fat burning mode. I don't know that it's necessarily the right thing to do, because I just truly believe in eating for health. And I don't think that getting into fat burning mode is eating for health. I think it's eating to lose weight or to burn fat, which isn't always a bad thing. And I know that is what a lot of people want to do. Obviously, a lot of people are eating a certain way to lose weight. But it's just being mindful that, just so you know, that ketogenic is getting you into a metabolic state of burning fat, as much fat as possible, essentially. Does somebody's chatting. Great points. Thanks, She. So I would never, like, if a client came to me, like I'm working with a one-on-one client now, and we have our first meeting this week. And if she said like, hey, I have been doing keto, I would start with asking her like, hey, well, why do you do that? Like, so if any of the clients that you're working with in your groups, like if you're chatting with them and they ask you about keto, like I would come back with more questions to them. Like, well, why are you doing it? What are the health benefits you want from it? Can you sustain it for a long time? And really with any of these things that you're not sure of, obviously you can see that I'm super pro clean eating, super pro paleo, not as pro keto, just because I don't think it's sustainable, period. But you can do more research on it. But essentially, just so you know, it is a very high fat diet, very low carb, which I really don't even know how you eat that much protein and fat and not enough carb. Like veggies are carbs. So like how do you not eat veggies? Like I don't get it. I just don't get it. So that's keto. Weight Watchers. I think Weight Watchers can be good if done in the right way. If it's done with all this packaged crap, no, it's not good. I mean, yes, you'll lose weight because that's what it worked for me. I lost 55 pounds eating all this packaged junk. That's all I ate was Lean Cuisine, Smart Ones, 100-calorie packs, anything that I'm not kidding. I wouldn't buy anything unless it had the points on the box because I didn't want to have to calculate it myself. I didn't want to have to look it up in a book. Like, it was literally all packaged food. Yes, it worked. Yes, it got me to lose weight, but it didn't get me focusing on my actual health and the benefits of fueling my body with real food. So you may have people like, I have a client that I'd worked with through my groups she's been in my groups for probably like 3 years. All of a sudden I checked in with her. I'm like, hey, what's going on? You haven't been posting in the group? Oh, I started Weight Watchers. It was just easier. And I was like, you've done Portion Fix? And in my mind, like, Portion Fix is very similar because you do have to like track things, but you're not tracking points. I think it's easier to just know how many, like, I think it's easy all day to be like, okay, I had 3 proteins, 4 veggies, 2 carbs. Like, I don't need to think of points or calories. I can't tell you the last time I counted calories or anything like that. So I think Weight Watchers can be okay if they are focusing on clean eating, if it's done with clean eating or with paleo. So, because I don't think tracking is a bad thing for someone who needs to like really track. But again, I think that the Portion Fix system can do that, right? So going back really quick to keto, I don't know how keto would be one that I don't think could work necessarily with the Portion Fix. I don't know how it would. It wouldn't, because this is, again, like kind of how you eat, not necessarily what you're eating, whereas paleo totally could. You're hitting all of those groups there, except, yeah, potatoes. Potatoes aren't on there. Aren't on this list, but I know that you can have them. And then like clean eating can definitely be used with the Portion Fix. And then intuitive eating. This is one that I've been seeing a lot, and it is one that I want to be more intuitive for myself because I can be super restrictive. I am either super restrictive or super not at all. Like, and most people would be like, you're ridiculous. You still eat really well. But in my mind, like, I'm not eating well because I'm eating out more or I'm drinking more, or like that's how I've kind of felt the last couple of weeks. I wish I was a little bit more intuitive and had a little more self-control in some of those areas, and like would stop eating when I was truly full, and like, so those are things that I'm working on. So I think intuitive eating really kind of can go along with really any of the other diets. But it's really just kind of being in tune with your own body, with your own body's hunger signals, eating when you're hungry, stopping when you're full, all of those things, trusting your body, trusting yourself. That is something that I work with my clients as well, is like that confidence in what you eat and how you eat and how to talk to other people about that, and like just being okay with that, and like trusting that how you're eating and as much what you're eating and when you're eating is right for your body. I think that has a little bit to do with intuitive eating. There's one coach that I follow. I think her website's breakupwithyourdiet.com. She's super into intuitive eating and would call any of these things a diet. Like, don't follow any of that and just listen to your body, which I don't think is a bad thing. Like, I want people to be more in tune with their body, and I'm sure we all want to be a little bit more in tune with our bodies and just know that, and not feel guilty if we have a donut, or not feel guilty if we have some, XYZ. And I think a lot of people, I know I've struggled with that. I don't know if you have, but, feeling guilty if you just ate a whole bag of candy. Jackie, did you just eat a whole bag of candy? Just kidding. So just, being more intuitive into that. Whole30. All of you guys know that I've done Whole30. I'm a huge proponent of Whole30. It is very restrictive though. So it's not for everybody. Not everybody is going to want to do it. They have to truly have a reason to want to restrict in order to determine what foods may be problematic for them. Most people are going, and I was like this for years and years and years when my mom told me she was celiac and dairy sensitive, and as was both my aunts and my grandma was, like, it's in our family, and my sister and I, and my sister still doesn't do it, but I was like, no way, I'm fine. I can eat gluten. I can eat dairy. There's nothing wrong. Yeah, I have lots of gas. Yeah, I don't have regular bowel movements. Yeah, I feel like crap most of the time and I have no energy. Yeah, but that's okay because I'm fine. I'm fine. Because most people just don't want to restrict, and I don't blame them, because it isn't always easy. And restricting specifically these 5 areas. So you restrict grains, dairy, sugar, legumes, and alcohol for 30 days. And then you reintroduce them back into your system one at a time, to see how your body reacts. And if your body reacts negatively, meaning any issues you're having, if you're having digestive issues, or for me, it was energy and like brain fog. So anytime that I'm lacking energy or there's brain fog issues going on, like right now, I had to just go back to, I'm doing a modified Whole30, but because I got back into some bad, in my eyes, bad habits for me. But certain food groups could be having a negative effect on your body. So it's just with this one, people just have to really want to do that for certain reasons, whether it's they're having huge digestive issues. So if you have any clients that are saying that they have digestive issues, or they're having a lot of lack of energy or brain fog, or even like skin problems, hair problems, like any diabetes, like Whole30, if you read the book, can truly help in so many areas. But you have to be willing to be super restrictive for 30 days. And it's not easy at first. That's what this little calendar talks about, is like, you have a hangover, you don't want to do anything, you want to kill everybody, you want to nap, like that whole first week. Like, I'm not saying it's easy, but it can help, and it changed my life completely. And I still don't consume gluten. I will sometimes consume grains. I try to restrict sugar as much as possible. I mean, I'll have sugar in the sense of like chocolate, or like dark chocolate chips, or what else do I have sugar in? Cider, wine, alcohol. That's essentially where my sugar comes from. But I don't eat processed foods. And that's I think a lot of times with the sugar. So I tell people are like, I can't give up sugar. Okay, I don't want you to give up like your cookies once a week or your this or that, but like, let's think about where you don't realize there is sugar. There's sugar in your pasta sauce. There's sugar in your salsa. There's sugar in your diced tomatoes. There's sugar in in your bread, in your everything. So like, just making people aware of that. So sorry, I went off on a sugar tangent there. And then intermittent fasting. This is one that Sheila and I, is so funny. Yesterday, literally, I'd been thinking about it. I'd been thinking about it for a few weeks, actually probably longer than that, that I kind of wanted to play around with my times of eating, especially being home. I found myself eating later. Like, I wasn't eating my breakfast first thing in the morning necessarily, because I would do my morning routine, do my workout. I many times was drinking my shake right away, but then I wasn't necessarily eating until 10, 11 a.m. And I was like, maybe I could do this intermittent fasting, especially for me getting older. I've heard that it can help a lot with just hormonal balance and all those kinds of changes. I've kind of gotten into a funk, and I was like, I'm going to play around with this and see how it goes. So today I started, and basically intermittent fasting in my mind can be done completely wrong. And like, I'm in this Facebook group and this girl was like, I'm drinking, or somebody asked, what do you eat all day? What do you eat during your eating window? And I'll talk about there's a few different ways you can intermittent fast. But someone asked, what do you eat during your eating window? And somebody responded with 2 Slim Fast shakes and 1 meal. And I was like, no. And I literally commented to her, and I've been chatting with her now. I was like, why do you drink Slim Fast? She was like, it's just easy. Is it bad for me? And I was like, oh my God. Like, it has no nutritional value. It's horrible. Like, what? So I've been chatting with her a little bit, but I was like, oh, I drink, is there a better shake out there? And I was like, oh, I drink this superfood shake, blah, blah, blah. So, interesting. But so it can totally be, intermittent fasting to me is when to eat. It doesn't tell you what to eat, how to eat, but it's necessarily when you eat. So it can be done a couple different ways. It can be a daily fast, where essentially you're fasting for 16-8 is a pretty typical time. So you're fasting for 16 hours and you're eating in a window of 8 hours. So for example, I stopped eating last night at about 6 p.m. and then I had my first meal today at 10:30 a.m. And then I had my last meal today, which was my shake actually, at 6:30 p.m. And actually it was I was finished with it by the time your call. It was a little bit later, so I went to like 6:45. So like I ate in an 8-hour window. And that to me felt okay, felt good. I wasn't starving all day, and then I still just ate my portion fix. And I actually went over on a yellow, but that was my own doing. But because that happens sometimes, because I really wanted chocolate chip. I wanted apple with almond butter and chocolate chips and cranberries. And so I counted the chocolate chips and cranberries as a yellow. But anyway, back to it. So that's one way to do it, is this 16-8. There's like if you're just starting, like Sheila, I think is struggling a little bit more with that time. I think probably because she's just I think I'm already used to eating a little bit later, so I think it was easier for me. Whereas Sheila has been so used to eating at 7 a.m. on her way to work or whatever time it is, and just so it's going to be harder for her to adjust. So she may want to do like 14 hours of fasting and a 10-hour eating window. So a lot of people just say you have to play with your windows, and then like when you eat. So maybe you don't need to eat all morning till like noon. Some people won't eat till noon and they'll eat from 12 to 8. Some people will only eat for a 4-hour window and will fast for 20 hours. Some people will fast for a full 24 to 36 hours and then eat regular the rest of the week. And they just do that once a week. And what the fast does is basically get your body into a different metabolic state. So it's similar. I'm not going to compare it to keto because it's not. Some people will do keto with intermittent fasting. You can do paleo with it. You can do clean eating. Again, in my mind, it's most important what foods you're putting in your body. And then if you play around with when you eat, that is what, you can just do whatever. That's what intermittent fasting is in my mind. So I'm going to see if I see any benefit to it, just because I like to experiment. I think our bodies are the best science experiment that we have. And so if you're stuck in a rut and you're looking for something to try and you like what you're eating, like there's nothing wrong with what I'm eating. I probably could restrict alcohol a little bit more. # single life. But so that is one thing that I need to just be more self-aware and be more self-disciplined in. But other than that, like what I'm eating hasn't been horrible. It hasn't been necessarily in how I want it to be. I was going to use the word perfect, but I don't want to use that word. I definitely let's just say I've been eating out more and drinking more. So if that's the lifestyle I still want to live, and I can maybe see different results doing intermittent fasting, or see more energy, or see just a difference in my hormones and emotions through this, like, hey, that's what I'm looking for. All right, so Kate, yes, I drink coffee. You can drink coffee, tea. I can drink my Energize before my workout because it's less than 50 calories. Oh, Carissa, you've been doing it? Yay. Yes, I can eat. How often did I eat today in those 3 hours? In those 8 hours? Probably, let's see, I ate at 10:30. And then, good question, Kate. Sheila and I had kind of a discussion about this today. And I had to find an article about it. But I think I ate at like 10:30, 12:30, 2:30. And those were like, one of them was like a snack. No. I ate at 10:30, 1, 4:30, 6:30. I think that's when I ate today, essentially. And what I ate was for breakfast, I had cauliflower hash. So I buy this bagged cauliflower pearls that they have at our grocery store, and they found one. It's the same maker that was hash, so it had like carrots and onions in it too. So I had that with some sweet potatoes and 2 eggs and avocado. So that was my first meal. It was pretty big, and that was like 4.5 hours after my workout. So that is a question that Sheila and I were talking about today, and I found an article that said it doesn't necessarily matter right after your workout because you're working out in a fasted state. There's still benefit to it. We'll see how the muscle, I'm interested in like the muscle gain and the muscle definition rather than just losing fat. Right now, I think right now for myself, I personally just want to get leaner, like kill some fat off these muscles, because I can see they're still under there, but I can feel the fat on top of them. So I think I'm okay right now, and I'm not doing a lifting program right now. I'm doing core to force, so I have no weights or anything. So it's a pure cardio or strength program. So I think I will be okay. But that was something that came up with Sheila and I, because she was like, maybe you should push your workout back. And I'm like, no, but I don't want to get, like, I'm liking my early morning workouts with you guys. It's getting me up and like making my day longer and giving me more time to work and then more time to rest as well, which has been very nice. And then I had some cucumbers, like for a snack. And then I had, my lunch was the apple almond butter chocolate chips and cranberries today, because that's just really what I wanted. I wanted something sweet. So that was my lunch today, essentially lunch, although it was probably closest to lunchtime. It was like 1 o'clock or something. And then that's the other thing is like, is it still breakfast? Well, technically breakfast is breaking your fast. Like that's why it's called breakfast. It's breaking your fast, whatever time you eat it. If you eat at noon, like it can still be breakfast. It can still be breakfast food. You can eat. That's one thing that I always want to tell people is like, breakfast doesn't necessarily have to be breakfast food. Eat whatever you want that's going to fuel your body. And then dinner was roasted potatoes and Brussels sprouts and and salsa chicken with some Tessemae's avocado ranch dressing. If you guys have not had Tessemae's yet, it is a dairy-free dressing that is amazing. It's like the best ranch I've ever had. And I haven't had ranch in years, like because I've been dairy-free for like almost 2 years now. And even before that, I didn't have ranch because it was the high-fat dressing, right? You're trying to stay away from it. But they have it at my grocery store, King Super, so they may start to carry it at grocery stores now, but I bought it on Amazon as well. They have a ton of different dressings and marinades. They call some of their dressings marinades. There's like a lemon and garlic. I just got a honey poppy seed to try that I had on chicken the other day that was really good. So what else do they have? They have a ranch, an avocado ranch. I just saw they came out with a habanero ranch, so like a spicy ranch, which would be good. So yeah. Anyway, Tessemae's, look it up. It's the best. And then my last meal was my shake at 6:30. And now I will go to bed early so that I don't want to eat anymore. But I'm truly not hungry. So that's good. But intermittent fasting, like Sheila was asking me about it. She was like, hey, I think I'm going to try intermittent fasting. And I was like, I am too. That's crazy. Like, we hadn't even talked about it, and we both were going to start it today. So, oh, you're hungry, Sheila? No, drink water. Or tea. Tea. They like rave about drinking tea like all day, all night, or like whenever you're in a fast. Good thing I like to go to bed early, so I'm not one that, and I haven't been like a nighttime grazer in a while, so that's pretty good. It's the morning that I think will be harder for me. And then what's the last one I've got on my list here? Oh, juicing. I hear people doing juicing all the time, and they do like a quick juice cleanse, or you'll see these bottles. I see people do it all the time. I don't think there's anything wrong with it, but it's not sustainable. It's not a lifestyle change. It is purely a cleanse or a quick fix, right? Like, it's not something that someone's doing for a lifestyle change. Obviously, if somebody was telling you that they were juicing for a cleanse, you could always recommend the 3-day refresh, because at least they're getting some whole food nutrients in their body. They're getting some real food every day, and not just juice. And then raw food diet, like I said, I'm not super familiar, but basically you're eating raw foods. You're not cooking any of your food. Literally this girl I went to high school with, she wrote a book called The Raw Food Diet. No, The Raw Food something. She literally eats raw meat, raw eggs, raw milk, raw everything. And she just was pregnant through all this. And so she did have to change some things because she was pregnant. Because there are some things that you need that you can't get just from a raw diet. But it's interesting. I haven't had personal experience with myself or any clients doing this. And I don't know that I would feel comfortable working with somebody that was doing a raw food diet, just because I don't really know anything. I don't know the benefits of it enough, right, to be able to coach someone or to help somebody with it. So those are the ones that I thought of and came up with. So let's see. I'm going to stop sharing and open it up. I'm going to unmute you guys, so hopefully that's okay. Okay. Does anyone have anything to add? Any questions? I think I answered everything that came over through the chat.
So, Carissa, did you guys all get that from that Cody guy? Is that how you guys all started with the like Deborah and all them?
No, I'm not in that group.
Oh.
I think Deborah did, though, because I'm doing it now, and he went through a whole nutrition like what you did, and basically he just talked about how like he does all of those, not all of those things, but like every once in a while he'll do like a week of keto, or he'll do intermittent fasting to kind of mix up your metabolism, just like muscle confusion, when you switch programs. That's what you need to do is if you're like in a plateau or if you're in a rut, and also like what you're looking to build, and that kind of thing. And he was saying don't do heavy lifting because you're not equipping your body with enough nutrients to really give it your all and get the most results out of lifting.
Okay.
Yeah, Amanda, it says on some of the articles to take a BCAA shake or something. What is that?
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know if that's something we should be doing before our workout in the morning, since we're not.
I think we actually get that in Energize.
That's what
That is an Energize.
That's in Energize, right? BC,
Yeah.
Jackie? I know you're.
I'm sorry. I jumped on. I heard BCAA and I just asked Rich. So you guys want to know what that is?
Yeah, I'm like, I know Rich knows about all these supplements. But I think
Hold on.
Energize is in it.
Amino acids.
Branch. Hang on. Branch.
Chain.
Hold on.
Branch chain amino acids.
There we go. Hold on. Let me unplug this. For me?
Yeah.
Awesome. Richie, say hi.
Hi, how's it going? It's branch chain amino acids, but you're better off with EAAs, which are essential amino acids. They'll be better for dieting.
Thanks.
No problem.
Yeah, if you have questions, like he's like the one I go to, so I just ask.
Supplement things. Yeah.
EAAs are better.
EAAs are better.
Yes. All right. Good to know. How are you, Jackie?
I'm tired. I just hopped on. I what do you call it? I feel like a broken record. I had to run out to my grandmother's. There are all kinds of problems going on, family drama. I'm just like, I'm ready for bed. But I had to get on here because I've been so excited to hear about all these different things because I'm not, you know me. I just learned how to cook a year and a half ago. So I'm still learning on every level. I love it.
Good.
I love it.
Good. I hope it was helpful.
Yes, it was. It was.
Just to get a broader range of some different things, especially like just because, and I'm not an expert in any of them, but I like to learn, and I like that Cody says kind of the same thing, so it kind of gives me some credibility there that he's like, yeah, it's okay to like change up your things, because sometimes I feel like guilty being like, oh, well, now I'm going to try intermittent fasting, or now I'm going to, but it's like, no, I don't necessarily feel guilty. I feel like it's okay. And I want people to know that it's okay and not feel that, oh, you're switching and you're doing something different now. Like, why are you doing something different? Well, because my body plateaued and I need to do something different now. And you need to listen to your body and experiment with your body and change things when things don't feel right. And that's okay to do. So just, especially right now in like our world with, there's so many things out there. And just, maybe it's just because I've been seeing so many, because I'm in so many other like general health coach groups that I've been seeing it more. But have you guys been seeing like a ton of keto stuff and
Yeah.
intermittent fasting? Like essentially those.
Yeah, those are the big two.
That are like the hot diets right now. And like I said, I support intermittent fasting. I don't know that I support keto, but I haven't done my research. It's not something that has intrigued me at all.
Yeah, it seems gross eating that high fat and ugh.
Like it's like Atkins. Like I remember
Yeah.
I did Atkins back in the day, and I was like, all you're eating is bacon and meat, and you're not eating any vegetables.
Yeah.
Or anything. Like
I think the
gross.
dogs need to go out.
Cool. So I'm like, you can't do that forever. Like, forget that. So anyway,
Yes.
but I will definitely share this
What's up?
presentation. Again, I know it's pretty basic, but there are some links in there if you do want to go explore any of them a little bit more yourself. And really, I just Googled a bunch of stuff, and and I've learned a bunch through my health coach certification as well. Like we kind of touch on all of these as well, so that's been helpful. And really, it's just that I keep coming back to, because somebody asked me today. It's a friend. It's another coach, but she's bye, Nora. I love you.
Bye. Love you guys.
Bye. Oh.
Was really, there isn't one answer for everybody. And this girl she wants to barter services. So she's we do a lot of the same things. Actually, our programs hers is called the Fly Academy, which is first love yourself, and mine's Single Life Wellness, which is love yourself first. But she focuses more on like the manifestation of like finding your man, essentially, like getting in the right mindset and like focusing on self-love to get into the place and like get rid of all this old stuff, a lot of manifestation stuff, whereas I focus more on the health and wellness stuff. Anyway, she was looking for a health coach to start her services, so we're going to chat on Thursday, but she asked if I had a specific health plan and specific workouts that I give to people, and I said it really depends on the person. Like, I'm not going to say you have to eat keto, or I'm not going to say you have to do Whole30, or I'm not going to say you have to eat paleo or this or that. Obviously, I'm going to suggest at-home workouts. Duh. When we have that conversation, I wasn't going to say that over the message, but when we get on the phone, I'm going to suggest it, especially because she works from home. Like, it would just be convenient for her because she's not doing anything right now. I know that. But as far as the health plan, I said, really, it depends. And like when you're doing your consultations with your clients, like that's what's really important is the yes, portion fix is the answer for everyone. Like portion fix and the eating and BOD and Shakeology is the ultimate solution. It can work for everybody, no joke. But when it really comes down to the eating and really helping people experiment with their own bodies, and like that's something that I really focus on now, is helping, not just telling someone that this is what I do, so this is what you should do, because I don't think that everyone has to be gluten-free and dairy-free, but that's what's helped me. I don't think everyone has to do intermittent fasting, but that's something that's working for me. So really just being in tune, it's that intuitiveness, right? Being in tune with your own body and experimenting with your own body and trusting that that's okay to do and that you're not going to get results overnight by doing that. But, you know, so just kind of focusing a little bit more and just knowing all of this, I think can help you help your clients. So let's see, beach body. So that's probably enough about nutrition. Did you guys see I just posted Coach Camp, or Christina just did a video in Dream It Stream. Coach Camp was announced for February 17th. I think it's at the same place. I don't remember. Last year was I don't remember where it was last year, but it's at the Westin this year. I feel like it might be the same. I'm going to try and come in for that. Hopefully it's just cheap flights and I can come in for the weekend. I think it is a Saturday, so that's good. What else is going on right now?
Did you book your Success Club? Are you going to that trip?
I am. I did not book my flights yet.
When?
Is that what you're going to ask?
Yeah, what's the best time to book?
Jackie was going to book like 2 months ago. Remember, Jackie?
I should have. They suck right now. I'm totally pissed at the prices.
Oh, no.
Right now?
So
They're higher now than they were back then.
When I looked 2 weeks ago, it was like, they were like $295. What are they now?
They're like $360.
Are they just going to go up? Should we just buy?
I don't think they will. You know what? There's an app called Hopper. Look up the app called Hopper. And you can put in your flights and it'll tell you whether or not the price is going to go up or down. And like sometimes it'll tell you like when your best time to book is as well. So that should be helpful. I was going to wait until after the first of the year, to be honest.
Yeah, I am too.
I haven't even booked my flight for Christmas home yet, and I'm getting shit from my family about it.
They better get on that.
I know. Yeah. So I don't necessarily book flights super duper far in advance, but actually I think the cheapest window is usually like 6 to 12 weeks out, usually. So, and we're still within that, because what is it, April?
April, yeah.
April, yeah. So after the first of the year would still be okay. Obviously, more than 6 weeks.
Are you going to that leadership?
No, I went
February?
last year.
Okay.
You only get to go 1 year.
Okay. So if I qualify, do I have to go this year? Can I go the following year?
Ooh.
Yeah. Because I got the same exact, and I can't say it out loud, but the same place it's going to be is something I just booked for July. So I really don't, you know what I mean? So I really don't want to go in February if I'm going in July already.
Yeah. I don't know. You know what? Ask Sydney.
Okay, I will.
Yeah, ask Sydney.
I will.
She would know the answers back. So I feel like you have to do it within the year that you qualify.
You have to be
Okay.
what, 1 star? You have to be, what do you have
2
to
star, or no, 1 star.
They changed it to 1 star this year. It used to be 2 star. They changed it to 1 star. Is it still 30 points? Minimum?
Yeah, I think yeah, and then you get the hotel paid for and stuff if you have double it or whatever.
Yeah.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah. So did you put qualified then?
Not yet. It dropped, so I've got 2 more weeks. If Kate doesn't drop, I don't drop.
Oh, okay.
I'm working on that.
It's not your fault. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I know, because every time I drop, I'm like, damn it, I just missed that bonus again.
Oh, yeah.
And I have somebody that she keeps delaying her order, so I have to, obviously, I have to get some working coaches. So that's what I'm working
I know.
on. I
Struggle.
need-
What else? I'm excited for Little Obsessed, an 80-day obsession.
You gonna do it then?
Wednesday, are you guys in the, which one is it? The Central Leaders,
Yes.
that one?
Yeah, with Sydney.
I'm not in there.
Something? Join it. You can just join it. You can add to it.
Yeah, you're in it.
I just joined it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sydney does calls in there. She
Oh,
has
no, I don't
guest speakers and she does calls in there. She is doing
Yes.
a call on, is it the Central Region's Rock Stars? Either the Central Region Rock Stars or the Central Region Leader Forum. One of them, she is going live on Wednesday to talk about all the different 80-day obsession challenge packs, because apparently there's a bunch of different ones, because I think there are some with like just energize and recover, or that include like the bands, or that include that apparently there's a bunch of different ones. So she's going to run through all of those, and it is at 10 a.m. Central Time on Wednesday. So if you don't catch it live, you can watch. She is recording it, but I saw her post that today, and so that should be good, because I'm super excited about that. I can't wait. I'm like, for 80 different workouts, like we haven't had a program that was ever like that. And I'm interested to see what Little Obsessed was. And this Breaking Bad thing today, people were so pissed. Did you
Really?
see like people posting? Because they were, I don't understand what they're trying. I think they're trying to up their bandwidth, or try to figure out how many people, or when does it break, or when does it go down? Why does it go down? Like all those things. But like, they should have like explained that a little bit more. I don't know. I mean, I guess you could have figured that out, like Breaking Bad. Yeah, we're going to try and break it. They wanted everyone to get on at the same time to literally try and break it. But like, then tell people to download their workout ahead of time, because I would be pissed. You know, I've been mad when I couldn't get it to work. So anyway, that was Breaking Bad today, and apparently we broke it. So whatever they're trying to do is whatever.
I have a really quick question. Just to clarify, if you know, I have a girl who just signed up as a discount coach. I guess she used to be a coach. I think it was just as a discount. Anyways, sign her up, and then all of a sudden it's, I want to host this. I want to host that. In a couple of months when I'm done with school, I'm going to coach. And I'm like, oh, that's great. Okay. Then I see today that she sells that lipstick crap, that Lip Sense or whatever.
Okay.
She can't do both, right?
She can't grow both,
Okay.
essentially. From what I understand is you can sell both. You can get the discount on both, or you can
Yeah.
sell both. Like I have one of my coaches does Beauty Counter as well. Can't grow both. So at some point, if she wants to grow the business, she has to choose one. So like if she has a team on Lip Sense, well, I don't know if it would matter that way. Like, I guess it would. No, I guess it wouldn't. If she stayed a discount. If she wanted to grow Beachbody, she couldn't also grow Lip Sense. That's how I understand it. And I know
Worst
there's
case
a lot of
scenario, because I can't make. Worst case scenario, because I obviously can't be there and smack her hand and tell her what to do and watch her. Not my problem. If worst case scenario, she grows it and they find out somehow,
Right.
it doesn't affect me, right?
Right. No.
Okay.
No, but I think it's a whole like going to your customers for like two things, right? Like someone could
Yeah, it's
hitting
being
your customers up for two things.
yeah, it's essentially it's being careful that she doesn't, if she gets free leads through Beachbody, that she doesn't bring them lip sense.
Got it.
Like for my business even, I cannot promote them together, but I can, and I cannot take my email list from Beachbody and send them Single Life Wellness one-on-one coaching information. Not allowed to do that. They can, if somebody was like to go to my website and subscribe,
Gotcha.
that's totally outside. And then if I'm in conversation with them and I invite them to Beachbody On Demand or Shakeology or the Portion Fix eating plan, it's completely separate. I'm not selling them together. I'm not selling, you get one-on-one coaching and this. I can't.
Got it.
Not allowed to do that. But I can do them separately in you know, I get if that makes sense.
Yeah. Okay. I was like, oh, that's just great.
Yeah.
You know, because I lost somebody to that before. She was doing two things, and they were actually like both competitor things. You know what I mean? Like it was another something health and fitness, and she was all ready to sign up. She had been in my challenge group for months and months and months. And then all of a sudden it was like, got to pick, and she picked the other company.
Yeah.
Sucks when that happens, but what are you gonna do?
Yeah. And like I can't go into my challenge group and say, hey guys, I'm doing this one-on-one coaching thing now, like in my group. Like those are boundaries that I'm setting for my own ass, you know, like I have my own business page. I'm trying to just have, I am still doing some Single Life stuff on my personal page, but I'm trying to completely separate it. I'm trying to use my Instagram for just kind of Single Life wellness stuff. And then like my Facebook personal, more Beachbody stuff. I'm balancing it all to try and be okay. But you guys, a lot of coaches, they don't necessarily do one-on-one coaching, but they do sell other things like ebooks or this or that, or like that is an option. And they're like high-end coaches. Like Melissa McAllister has like ebooks and all these other things that she does. You just have to be careful that you don't promote them together is how I fully understand it and have been explained.
Gotcha.
Okay.
I have a
Gotcha.
question.
Yeah.
So I'm going to chat with this woman. She's a client on Saturday, and she's a teacher. And so we're talking about doing a challenge group with her for her to offer to all of her teachers at her school
Well, yeah.
for like January. Have you ever done that? Like she's a discount coach. I just signed her up. And she hasn't said she wants to coach. I was just brainstorming with her, and I'm like, you can make some extra money, blah, blah, blah. So what's the best way to like,
Careful.
you know what I mean? Like, should I just like put together a graphic for her and just say, go for it? Or
Yeah,
like,
I would just kind of
I'm not training.
want the orders to go under her, or was she open?
They would go under her. I would just do it with her and let her run with it, and maybe she ends up liking coaching, you know?
Yeah.
That was I was gonna offer it up to the other teachers in my group. I have a lot of teachers. I just wasn't sure what the best way, how that would look. Do you know what I mean?
There was another coach in my old school district outside of me. I didn't know her, and she worked at one of the schools, and many of the teachers were her clients, and they would all like work out together, and they were in challenge groups together, and like so that kind of stuff. So it's definitely, I think it's definitely beneficial. Like I think for teachers to stay after school. Carissa can speak to this too. I don't know if what's it, stay after school for 30 minutes or go to school early for 30 minutes and get it done. There's definitely some benefit because there's that one-on-one. It's almost like a fit club, but then you can also have a group as well to help them on the weekends and with nutrition and extra motivation, right? Throughout the day.
Give this to Dad. Dad, can you make me a water, please? Love you.
All right. Anything else or any other questions about anything? I think Lindsay, if everyone could send Lindsay some love, I think Oliver's not doing well. I mean, she didn't post on Facebook at all today, which is not like her. And so I think she's probably having a pretty rough day. She did love on my coach camp post in Fit Warriors. So she has been on Facebook, but hasn't posted. And I know on the days that I don't post, are usually days is because I don't have anything to give because I'm having a bad day, right? Like on those days when you just have nothing to give. So I'm going to send her a little love and just let her know that we're all thinking about her. And so if you guys, I just feel like I know that Oliver had his first like actual cold and they were in Michigan and she's just this pregnancy is just, or not pregnancy, this new baby thing has not been easy on her. So,
It's terrible.
you know,
That's
so
really hard what she's going through.
I know. I feel bad because I feel like things were easy with Owen for her. And so now it's just like, you expect, I'm not a mom, but I'm sure you expect your second to be just the same and it's not. So,
You sure hope so. Yeah, absolutely.
yeah. So, all right, guys. Well, it was great seeing and chatting with you. Love you all. And I will talk to you soon.
Yeah. Okay, bye.
Bye.